minha avó vai ganhar uma.
Então, eu irei.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, madam. Welcome.
Hello, madam.
Great. My name is Mabel, and I'll be taking you through the business fundamentals of business intelligence program. I hope I've joined the right class at the right time.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
All
Yeah,
right.
welcome.
Thank you. May I ask us to do a quick introduction so that we get to know ourselves briefly? And is everyone who is supposed to join the class on the call?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, all right. So let me quickly introduce myself and then we'll take turns to introduce ourselves as well. Right. Like I mentioned, my name is Mabel, not in software. You can simply call me Na, it is fine. I work remotely as an executive and operations assistant and a data analyst. So anything that involves, okay, we only about 60% here. All right, if you have any means of reaching the other 40%, kindly do me the honors of reaching out to them, let them know we have started. So take as we wait for them, we will introduce ourselves. Is that okay?
That's okay.
All right, fine. So like I was saying, I work as an executive and operations assistant with a focus on data analytics. So I analyze a lot of data from operations data, customer data, service data, anything related to data, you'd find me there. So I'm really excited to be invited to take you through this program. Right. So over to you. Someone should also take the floor and then let us know who you are, worship you briefly. As we are with the others.
Okay, my name is Michael Aji, Procurement and Supply Chains Management.
Hi, Michael. Yes. Did you say procurement and supply chain manager?
I'm offering supply chains, procurement and supply chains here.
Okay, that's interesting to know. All right. Okay, I think I should go with the names I see on my tile over here. So Michael is out. Let's move on to Francis. Gary Francis. I hope I got the name right.
Yes. Yes, my name is Derek Francis, offering procurement.
Great, thank you. Then we have Richmond.
Hello, madam.
Hi, Richmond.
I'm Richmond. I'm in charge of offering procurement and supply chain.
Okay, so I understand all of you are offering procurement and supply chain management. Okay, I want to get to know you better. Are you only students or working students? Do you do any other thing apart from school?
Hello, this is the working class. So it's not only students, but yeah, workers as well.
Okay, interesting. So I'd like to know maybe what you are into.
Okay, so my name is Randolph. I'm with MESC as customer experience partner.
Okay, customer experience partner. Right. I'm sure you deal with a bit of data, if not more. Anyway, thank you so much. Helena. Yes, Helena. Helena, shall we hear you?
Yes, madam. Good afternoon. My name is Helena, offering procurement and supply chain, working with Africa World Airlines.
Very interesting. Right. Let's move on to wisdom.
Good afternoon, madam. My name
Hi,
is
good afternoon.
Wisdom Kofi Ochre, Procurement and Supply Chain Management, working with Ministry of Roads and Highways.
All right. Interesting. Then let's move on to Alfred.
Madam, please, Alfreda.
Alfreda, sorry. All right, Alfreda.
Alfreda Nadoko Adomensa, Procurement and Supply Chain Management, and I'm the manager for Welbeck Enterprises.
Beautiful. I trust my guys to give me long names like myself. We guys tend to have longer names. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing. Let's move on to Peter.
Okay, my name is Peter Kwame Asari, and I'm working with Citywide Property Services Real Estate as sales assistant.
All right. Great. Thank you so much for sharing, Peter. Next on my tab, we have Paul.
Hello, madam, please. Is it Paul? Did you mention Paul, please? Because
Yes.
I didn't hear you well.
Sorry. Yeah, Paul.
Okay, please. My name is Paul Kuka, and I'm offering logistics and transport. And I work with Ghana Airport Company.
All right. So I can see from what you said, you people have shared so far, definitely you'd be working with data in one way or the other. So I'm hoping that by the end of this program, you'd find this course beneficial to you and what you do beyond just passing the course. Right. Now we move on to Randolph. Randolph. We have Randolph on the call.
Yes, please. We actually have two Randolphs here. You have Randolph at Timbilk and Randolph Densua. So
Okay, I think I have Randolph Danso over here.
Yes, so my name. Good afternoon. My name is Randolph Boateng, so I work with MESC in Tema, and I'm customer experience partner.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's move on to Abigail Aqua.
Good afternoon, madam.
Hi, good afternoon.
Offering logistics and transport. I work with Activa International Insurance. I'm a marketing executive.
Right. Thank you. Then we have Wisdom of your trade.
I think I've already.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, sorry, yeah, sure. Paulina too. So let's move on to Paulina.
Good afternoon, madam. Paulina Aintara Sanga with the Ghana National Fire Service. Thank you.
Thank you. Then we move on to, let's see, Juliet. Juliet, then Stephanie, then Maxwell in that order. Juliet's opening was Stephanie Narte and Maxwell Kuma.
Yes, madam. My name is Juliet Wk1, and I'm a civic educator. I work with the National Commission for Civic Education.
Thank you for sharing, Juliet. Next, we have Stephanie.
My name is Stephanie Dedenati. I'm a military personnel and I'm a stores person. Thank you.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, then the next was supposed to be Maxwell. Maxwell Kumar. Do we have Maxwell on the call? Emmanuel. Hi, Emmanuel. Emmanuel Ade. Okay.
Hello,
Yay.
madam.
Hi.
My name is Emmanuel Adai. I work with Qatar Airways as Almaha sales service agent, and currently living in. I'm doing logistics and transport.
So do you work remotely or in person?
No, I'm outside the country. I'm in Doha, the head office.
Okay. All right. Great. I hope your time zone is favorable. Anyway.
Yes. Very well.
All right, cool. Then let's move on to Maud Ankara. Maud Ankara, then Thomas, Neodate, then Mavis.
Hi.
Hi, Maud.
I'm Maud Ankara. I'm a business owner. I run a hostel facility and a personal business.
Great. Then let's hear Thomas. Thomas Neodate.
My name is Thomas Neodate Thompson. I'm an IT consultant and I'm studying procurement and supply chain management.
Great. Nice combination. IT person with some business background. Good. All right, let's move on to Mavis Sewa.
Hello, good afternoon, madam.
Hi.
Mavis Sewa Yosin, a procurement and supply chain management, a teacher.
Great. I'm a teacher myself. I've been a teacher for quite some time now, and I ventured into tech, and it has been really useful for me. So it's good to try to sharpen your skills, gain some skills beyond your immediate industry. You can, leverage the skills you already have, and then you be like a more valuable professional in the business world. Okay. At this point, has everyone spoken? Richmond has, no, Juliet has. What about Samuel Aintree? Right, so I know your names, I can see all your names, and you are all into either procurement or logistics one way or the other. So yes, those who haven't spoken, my tell is missing up those who have spoken to those who have not. So yes, if you've not spoken, kindly unmute and then share like 30 seconds, 30 seconds, intro about yourself.
Hi, madam. Good afternoon.
Hi, Faisal Hassan. Good afternoon.
My name is Faisal Hassan Mohammed. I'm offering procurement and supply chain management. I'm a police officer.
Abai, I salute.
Hello, madam.
Hi.
Madam, good. My name is Prince
Hello.
Benjamin. Hello, madam. Good
Hi,
afternoon.
Prince Benjamin. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm offering procurement supply chain. Work with this franchise officer.
Okay. Thanks for sharing.
Franchise officer.
Thanks for sharing.
Hello, madam.
Hi, Fred Edu.
My name is Fred Edu. Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
I work with the Ministry of Finance, and I'm a telecom technician at the Ministry of Finance.
Great, telecom technician. All right, interesting. Thank you. Okay, so yes, Maxwell, I can see your chats. All right, that's no problem. It's okay. But if you do have any queries or anything, just drop it in the chat, draw attention so that we can attend to you. Okay. All right. Do we have everyone? Yeah. Homefa Collins.
Yeah, hello, madam.
Hi, Homefa.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am Homepa Collins. I offer procurement and supply chain management. I work with Dependable.
Great.
Hello, madam. Good afternoon. I'm
Yes.
Diana. I'm Diana Wilson, offering
Hi,
procurement and
Diana.
supply chain. I work with
Great.
Telefonica Ghana.
All right. Telefonica. That's interesting. That's why I usually buy my gadgets. So I hope next time when I come around, you give me discounts.
Actually, I'm not in Accra, unless you come to Takrade.
Oh, okay. Because of your account to Takrade. All right. Thank you so much, Diana. Next person
Hello,
or
madam.
Hi.
My name is Gilbert Echampon. I offer procurement and supply chain management. I work with GNRA under the custom divisions.
GRA Custom Division. So much data going on there. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, Dede. Dorcas Dede. All right. Yes, we got that. Okay. I hope others comments. Yeah, hi.
Please, my name is Master Dapalodis, offering procurement
Lord.
supply chain. Yeah, I'm a police officer.
Hey, we have police officers here. So does it mean we can misbehave or we should behave? Which is which? Anyway,
It's Paco.
Paul Kuka. Is it my network or can anyone else hear Paul? I can't seem to hear him.
Hello, good afternoon, madam.
Hi, Laura.
Madam is from Paul.
Hello.
Hi, Laura. Hello, Laura.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am Laura Edubiai Sedu, procurement and supply chain, and I work with Full Catch Tilapia.
All right, thank you so much for sharing.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, Bridget.
Madam.
Good afternoon, Bridget.
Yeah, please, I'm Bridget Sedu Akofa, an emergency medical technologist with National Ambulance Service, offering procurement and supply chain.
All right, emergency. All right, thank you so much.
Hi.
Hi, Sonia Ando.
Yeah. I'm Somi Ando Frank, offering procurement and supply chain management. Procurement officer, Parliament of Ghana.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Yes, I learned before we started the introduction, it was stated that there are about 60% of us here. Randolph, can you confirm if we have the others in here? Yeah, Terry Richard offering procurement and supply and AC technician. Cool. Hi, Randolph. Or anyone, do we have the whole class here?
Yes,
We have the
please.
majority. Yes, we
We
do.
have the majority,
Yes.
but the whole class is not in. So we can start while waiting.
You can start.
Okay. All right.
Thank
So how many of us, how many of you are supposed to be on the call? In other words, how many of you are in the class?
Okay, actually, we just emerged. We are supposed to be 70 something. So I don't have the actual number, but
Okay, that's
we
a
are
great
supposed to
number.
be 70 plus. Yes.
Okay, 70 plus, and we have about 54. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for telling us who you are and what you do. And like I mentioned earlier, one thing I noticed is that all of you are in areas that you deal with data in one way or the other. And I'm not surprised because data is everywhere. Hi, Elizabeth. Yes, we got you. All right. So data is everywhere. And it becomes beneficial when we make meaning out of it. And as procurement and supply chain management students, having skills in business intelligence and analytics will really be beneficial to you as you go about your work, right? Even at home, right? So let me just run through. I mean, you guys that is your field, your career right now. That's your course, what you are doing. So I'm sure you already know what procurement, what supply chain management, all that is. But let me quickly run through it and let's see how business intelligence it plays out in business intelligence and how having these skills can help us in the program, right? So yes, procurement basically is the process of buying the things a company needs to operate. So you can think of raw materials, right? Office supplies, equipment, and services like internet. Right now, we thrive on internet data to work, right? And then services like the janitors in our offices, the cleaners, cleaning services, consultants, right? All these are things that a company buys or needs to operate, right? So how does BI fit in this narrative? It's like finding the right supplier at the right price and at the right time. All right, so we are going to, as we progress in the course, we'll see how business intelligence can help us find these things that we need to operate a business, the right supplier at the right price, and of course, at the right time, right? Then supply chain, that is the entire journey of a product from raw materials to the customer. So it includes suppliers, manufacturers, warehouses, transport, retailers, customers, right? Right. Think of it as everything that happens before a product gets into the hands, get into your hands, right? All the things that happen before a product gets into your hands. So for, let's say, a smartphone, I mean, we're all using smartphones. There are minerals that are mined, parts that are manufactured, phones that is assembled, is shipped to the stores, and then we buy it. So all of that together is the supply chain. Then we have logistics, right? That is about managing the movement and storage of goods efficiently. So it focuses on warehousing, inventory management, order fulfillment, distribution planning, right? So how we move and store products properly. Then we are looking at logistics. So when a company decides where to store goods, how much stock to keep, how to package items, and when to ship, that is logistics, right? And then transport. I mean, this is simply the physical movement of goods from one place to another, right? So you can think of like trucks, ships, airplanes, trains, right? So the vehicles that carry the goods forms part of that is transport. It forms part of logistics, right? So we've touched on a bit of all these lengthy course or program you're running, supply chain management and transport logistics and all that, right? So now this is where your analytics knowledge connects, right? So BI in procurement. how does BI support in procurement? It helps you to answer questions like which supplier gives the best price, which supplier delivers on time or late, and are we overspending or underspending? Stuff like that. So we need for us to see this in place. Well, I'll cover that later. All right. So we also have supply chain where BI can help us answer questions like where are the delays happening, which products sell fastest, what are stock shortages, right? Then we are looking at demand forecasting, right? If customers are making these demand at this point in time, in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months or 1 year, what would demand what would demand look like or be like, right? BI can help us forecast. Then inventory optimization, we are taking stock. How can we how can we increase stocking and all that, right?
Hello, madam.
Hi.
Please, we
Hello.
can't see your
Your
slides.
screen has not been shared, so we can't see anything. I don't know whether you have not
Of course.
started.
I'm not shared my screen yet. I'm just running through how business can support BI, business intelligence can support your field of work. I mean, when we get into it proper, just like touching on, right? So I've not started sharing material yet. Okay. So let's look at BI in logistics, right? It helps us answer questions like, are warehouses efficient? Is inventory moving too slowly? Or what's our order fulfillment time? What's our order fulfillment time, right? So you can have tools that will help you mention them, and that is what we'll be looking at. Then when we come to transports, I mean, we are moving from one place to the other. So you may use BI to answer questions like, which drivers are delayed? What fuel or what is our fuel usage? Like if we are transporting goods from maybe Accra to Kumasi, right? How many liters of fuel do we use and how much does it cost, right? Then you know how to plan, how to budget, right? Then you can also consider routes. Maybe if you use Accra Kumasi is just one way, right? Let's look at a situation where you can use let's say you are going to Medina. You are from Pokwase and you are going to Medina. You can decide to go through Kwabena to Medina, and then you can decide to go through Achimota, right, to Medina. So if you're looking at distance, BI can help you understand that if perhaps I use Kwabena, it will take me like 30 minutes. And then if I use, let's say Achimota, it will take me like 45 minutes. So that means there'll be an increase in the fuel consumption, and that will be like an expense, a cost that I need to cut on, right? So these are some ways that we can see the business intelligence play out in, let's say, whatever field that we've chosen. Great. Now I'll go on to share my screen properly as we look at fundamentals of business intelligence. Give me a second. Let me share my screen. Give me a second. Okay, then let's see. I'm going to share this screen with you. I'm sorry, I'll share the slides I made with you. Let me present it in full screen. This time is just, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, sharing the wrong slides. Okay. My screen should be up in a bit. Can you confirm you can see my screen?
Yes, please.
Yes, madam.
Okay, sure. All right. Let me just close this down up a bit. Great. Thank you. So yes, Welcome officially to Fundamentals of Business Intelligence, where we are going to look at how we can gain insights from our operations or our services and use it to make better decisions for our work, our operations and services. Great. So by the end of this program, these are the points, or these are the key concepts or skills I want us to achieve by the end of the course. I believe, or I have firm belief that you understand the basics of business intelligence for leveraging data to drive informed decision. Then you evaluate technologies that will help you implement effective business solutions within any organization. And then you would also grasp the concepts and components of business intelligence to really get more value from the data that you are driving. Right, so someone may ask, what then is business intelligence? We have business and then we have intelligence. When you put them together, I'm sure the police officers we have here don't joke with intelligence at all, right? These are what helps them to understand a case better, understand risk suspects they need to investigate further, or just basically they thrive on intelligence. Security services thrive on intelligence a lot. So yes, we have business intelligence, BI for short, right? So business intelligence basically refers to the technologies or applications and practices, right, for collecting, integrating, analyzing, and presenting of business information, right? And the primary goal of business intelligence is to support businesses to make better decisions. That is the core goal or the core component of business intelligence, right? You gain the intelligence, you gain the insights, then you now use it to make better decisions. Right, now, before we move on to to the next slide, let me ask if you can think of any importance of business intelligence. Just look at how you're operating currently and see if you have some intelligence from the way you operate. What is it going to do for you? How is that going to be beneficial for you? Hi. Yeah, Homefa. Yes.
Hello, madam.
Yeah, hi.
It will help you to improve upon your skills.
It will help you improve upon your skills. All
Yes.
right, thank you. Yes, I think the next person is Alfreda, Alfreda Demensa.
Madam, please, it will help highlight the risk, the potential risk in the organization.
Right, thank you. Thank you, Alfreda. Then I think there are 4 more. Paul.
Yes, madam, thank you. It helps in decision making.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Paul. And then let's take one more, then we can move on to the next slide. Richmond.
Okay, madam. It helps in making your analysis very efficient analysis making.
Okay, so business intelligence helps to make efficient analysis. Great. Michael, and then, yeah, I think I'll take Michael, and then we can call it a day.
Okay, I see it improves efficiency.
All right. It improves efficiency. Thank you so much for sharing. And to those who couldn't share, sorry, but yes. Yeah. So all that you mentioned are importance of business intelligence, right? It helps you to identify potential risks so that you take care of them before they become major problems within your organization. It helps you to make better analysis. That is, if you know the right technology or the right application or software to use, right? Good. So we have some importance like general importance of, these are just a few importance of business intelligence, right? So BI enables professionals to analyze data. And when you do, you are going to see trends and patterns within your data. That is going to help you make better decisions, right? So you move away from guessing, right? If you don't have business intelligence in place, you will be tempted to guess, to see, okay, yesterday worked this way, so I think tomorrow is going to be the same thing, which may not be actually true or accurate. But if you have BI in place, it is going to help. That is where forecasting comes in. It's going to help you forecast to see into the future what is going to happen, right? When you observe trends and patterns within your your operations or your organization or your business, it helps you to make better decisions, right? So you are no longer guessworking or saying, okay, let me just try this out to see how it works. Okay. Then there's operational efficiency, right? I believe about two of you mentioned efficiency in your submission. Yes. When you identify some bottlenecks or things that needs to be taken care of within your organization, BI helps you identify those things, right? Let's say, like I used the transportation, moving from Pokwase to Accra, right? Where you have the option to go through probably Kwabena, and then the other one is Achimota, right? So you realize that maybe you use the Achimota route quite often, and it increases your fuel consumption because let's say when you use that route, you use about 1 hour to get to Medina. But you tried the Kwabena route and you noticed that, oh, it took me 45 minutes, right? It has saved you 15 minutes of time, right? These are some of the intel or the intelligence we can gather our operations, right? When you identify these things and then you address them properly, you realize that your business now moves. So if you choose to go to Medina from Pokwase using the Kwabena route, you notice you are saving 15 minutes of time, and that will translate to maybe a liter or two fuel save. And that would mean you cut down on costs, right? So you realize with the advanced world, they collect data a lot. They tend to document a whole lot. What they track their expenses. You know, you have people who track their daily expenses, what they buy each day. They have like a sheet that when they buy something, they record it and attach the price. So as time goes on, they can decide to sit down in a month and see where their money goes to. So realize that, okay, my money is going into utilities, some is going into eating out, some is going into maybe entertainment, right? And everyone wants to save money. So you would like to sit down and ask yourself, are there certain things that I do not need that I'm spending on, right? Then you can look at it and then maybe you notice that, okay, I'm spending too much money on eating out, like going to the restaurants or ordering food. How about me cooking at home? Right, I'll go to the market, cook, and then stock them in the fridge, and then I'll be eating it. That way, you are cutting down on maybe spending, right? So these are some of the data that Advanced World collects, not just personal life, in businesses. we over here, we don't do much when it comes to documenting, but I mean, if we do document, you're going to spot some of these overspending, things that are not really working for us, and then we'll be able to save some money, right? Then we also look at risk management, like our sister mentioned earlier. So BI helps to anticipate risk through predictive analytics, right? We are going to predict, let's say you notice that through your documentation, probably this week, the supplier gave you the goods at maybe 100 cedis, right? And then the next 3 months, they gave it to you at 110. Then after another 3 months, it becomes 120, right? So you look at it and you begin to see that, okay, this supplier tends to be increasing the price of their goods by maybe 10% every 3 months, right? At a glance, you may not really take notice of it, but when you put it on a chart, when you draft it, I mean, you are going to see the increment, right? But now when you forecast it, it's the data that you've gathered so far will tell you, will be able to predict what to expect within the next 3 months. And if that is your only bet, then you know that for every 3 months, I should be prepared to buy this particular good at 10% increment every 3 months. Then you ask yourself, do I have, or are there any suppliers who can give it to me at a more stable price or a more reduced price, right? So BI helps you to anticipate risks before they you take measures before they become a problem to you. Because for all you know, there's some a supplier out there whose pricing is consistent, and you are stuck with this supplier who increases their price every 3 months. So if you identify this, you're able to forecast that, okay, if I don't take measures, I'll be losing like 10% of that money I'll be giving it to that supplier every 3 months because you have the data which is now backing you. So when you are making decisions to switch suppliers, it's not based on how you feel.
I want to go to hall. Then go. Mama, I want to go to
Hi, can you please mute your mic if you're not speaking? Thank you. Right. So you realize that with predictive analytics or business intelligence, you are able to make decisions out of the information that you have and not your feelings, right? And then, I mean, this point also points to the next importance of business intelligence, which is supplier performance, right? So it aids you in evaluating the supplier. Let's say you have supplier A, B, and C, right? They are all giving it to you at a good price. But you notice that when you place an order, you notice that probably supplier B produces or delivers the good on time compared to the other suppliers, right? And you don't want to keep your customers waiting because you need these goods to maybe produce something or even sell, right? Let's say an office setting, you need A4 to print out, let's say school, right? You need A4 sheet to print out newsletters to students as they are going on vacation or midterm, right? So that they take them home. Maybe these are information that is going to tell the parents what programs the kids are having in school, maybe deadlines for fees, payments, or stuff like that, right? And you have this supplier who delivers late. So probably the school is vacating on Thursday, right? And then the supplier brings the good on a Friday. I mean, how does that work for you? That means the children will go home without the information they need because you didn't get the A4 sheets on time to print out this information. So if you have a supplier like this, and you have the data that points to this inefficiency, what do? You try to you try to solve this problem by probably going to a supplier who supplies on time, right? And that is saving you money, because if you don't send the memos out there, yes, the parents know, probably they know they owe school fees, right? They need to pay. But you didn't give the child memo stating the deadline for collection of school fees. And that means the parent is not going to get the memo on time and may not pay the fees on time for you to get your money on time to do the other things you need to do, like paying teacher salaries on time or buying other stationaries to make teaching and learning go on time, right? With VI, it's going to help you to evaluate and monitor the suppliers that you have. Then it leads towards fostering a better relationship with your supplier, right? Now, let's look at the key components of business intelligence. Before I move on from all that we've shared up to this point, yes, there's a hand up, Gilbert.
Madam, please, I want to ask a question. I don't know. I want to ask if one important of BI is for managers or business owners to monitor the trend in the markets. Because I'm seeing a way that with the help of technology, this will help managers or business owners to know the trend in the market, as well as to know the type of resources or raw materials to procure for their business to grow and boost profits.
Thank you so much for your question. It's a good one. All right. So let's look at it this way. You are in a company, so you have let's say marketers, you have even the executive assistants or receptionists, then you have the managers, then you have storekeepers. So let's use let's say a company that sells, let's use maybe Melcom, right? So Melcom has sales representatives, they have managers, and then they have like their top owners, right? And then even the security, right? All these people are working at Melcom. Now, the question here is BI important to the manager or the business owner or the sales executive, right? Let me give you some time to think about this scenario, right? Melcom with all the workers that you can think of. So let's look at even the cleaners, security personnel, the sales reps, the manager, and the business owner. Let me give you some time to think about it. How do you think, let me ask the question, who is the intelligence of the company, the operations you're running? Who is it important to within this group? And another question is, how does all these workers that we've identified, what's their business with business intelligence? Why should it concern them in any way? So yeah, think about it and let me know your thoughts.
Madam, the whole class or fully gathered?
It's all of you. It's all of you. He asked a very good question. In fact, I appreciate you asking that question. It's for all of us. So yes, I've given you the scenario. We are all like taking Melcom as a case study where we have cleaners, security, sales executives, manager, and then the business owner, this owner of Melcom, right? How is business intelligence important to these groups of people, and what is really why should they worry about business intelligence? Is it important to them, or they should just carry on with their business? That's the question. Is the question clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. So let me know your thing. This one, everyone will talk.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Yeah, I think before someone will say mine, let me suggest that this will help them to improve productivity, their productivity to whatever work that they are assigned to. The BI will help them and to improve their productivity.
Okay, thank you so much. But I want you to be specific. You can choose any one of the workers and let us know your thoughts on that, because you have said that generally is going to help all of them, right? So I want you to pick just one of them and let us see how business intelligence is going to help them in whatever work they are doing at Norcom.
All right, madam, we'll come back again.
You'll come back again. Okay, then Peter, you have your hands raised up. Yes, Peter, let's hear you. Peter Kwame Asari.
Okay, madam, thank you very much. Business intelligence is important to many people in business. For example, the managers, it helps them to make decisions using data.
All right.
And also the business owners, it helps them to see whether they are making profits or they are losing.
Absolutely. The business owner is there for money. Yes. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Do you want to add or?
Come again.
Yes, do you want to add something or you'd stop there for someone to also continue?
Okay, when we come to the sales and marketing teams it helps to understand customers and improve sales.
All right, great. Yes, since I'm sharing my screen, I can't see the individual hands that are up. So if no one's hands is up, then yes. So yes, to answer your question, business intelligence is important to everybody, from security to the top. I'm not saying like the security is the least important person, right? I'm just saying in no order of preference. From security personnel to the business owner, BI is important to all of them. Yes, Michael, let us hear you.
Okay, so madam, just like I was just about saying that it's important for all categories of people in the organization. So there is a level of information that those are the ground, so to speak. They need information to work. So the tactical side, BI, they will need that. Then we have the strategy, which has to do with the top level management.
Absolutely.
For the strategic goals and of the business, they have their level of business intelligence that they require. So every level have a certain level of business BI that they require for, the overall success of the business. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, Peter, do you want to say something? Yeah, you want to come back?
Yes.
All right, Peter.
Yes, madam. So as we are talking about the mall, let's say, for example, the IT team who works at the mall, it helps them to collect, analyze, and present data clearly.
Right. You're right about that. You see them always sitting there. You might think someone sitting somewhere will be like, this person is not working. He's just sitting by the computers. Those guys are monitoring what is going on, right? All the sales that is going on across, not just the store that they are positioned. Let's say you go to the one at Achimota Mall, right? You see one IT guy sitting there somewhere, and you think he's just pressing the computer, right? This guy is looking at how sales. Let me not go into deep. I want to really tackle this at a deeper level, right? But on the surface, this guy is analyzing data from all the sources that data is coming from. Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you.
I see this in as the four functions of management, because before an organization or a firm will procure something or even go in for something, they have to do data collection and integration. They have to know what their customers prefer, and they get this information from the sales manager or the sales boy who is always with the customers and listen to them. And also, after they have been able to procure, they need someone to monitor or data analysis to know whether what they procure, are they selling or they are not selling. And again, with the reporting, it's also serve as a control measure to let them know whether if whatever they put inside or whatever measures they put, is it resulting to what they want, or is there a need for change, or is there anything they can do to adjust the whole organization strategy? Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. In fact, you have all shared important points. So business intelligence, I hope it answers your question. It is not just for the top guys, right? It's not just for the big men at the top. It is for everybody, because let's take it from this point of view. The owner, the one who established Malcolm, he is in there for money, right? So when business intelligence is going to help this person know whether he's making money or not. Whether he's making money, when he's making money, humans, we have insatiable desire. We are not satisfied, right? Because the more you make more money, your taste changes, and then those who are kind, they will venture into philanthropy, right? They want to help other people. So they are always looking for more. This guy is going to know whether he's making money or not. If he is not making money, then he will look at the ones that are costing him, right? Maybe he has a store, let's say at Achimota Malcolm, and there are 50 employees over there, yet he's not making enough money. He still needs to pay all these 50 employees, and he's not making money. So it will be the intelligence he gathers is going to tell him, since he's not making money, then he should cut down on costs. So this person may want to cut down on the number of employees he has to pay every month, right? So that he's able to maintain some momentum. It doesn't really go down well. Then we have the manager, right? The manager is managing, maybe not just, even if it is a store, one store, right? He's managing people, he's managing products, he's managing every other thing. So with business intelligence, the information they gather, right? Let's say from their data source, they analyzed and find that on Saturdays, people buy more, right? People buy more. So that means for the manager, this would mean that on Saturdays, he should have enough goods, because that is when people come out to buy, right? You don't want the situation whereby customers will come around and you don't have the goods, you just go away. You are losing money, right? So the manager is going to make sure that they stock goods. And then this would also inform him, right, to maybe beef up security on those days. So on maybe Mondays, Tuesdays, that the days are not busy, the market or the shop is not busy, maybe they can do with 2 security men, right, or personnel. But on Saturdays, when lots of people are coming to the shop to buy, they need to beef security. So that means we'll get 3, 4, or 5 securities, so that even as customers are shopping, security is on top. No one can just run off with any of their goods. And then if there is a need to prompt anyone of anything they find suspicious, the people are plenty. 1 person or 2 security men can't handle that at a time, right? So with this install, it's going to tell them to increase maybe security around that area. And then more importantly, if a shop sells more on a particular day than any other shop, there's Achimota Melcom closer to Neoplan, and then there's the Melcom inside the Achimota Mall, right? Let's say on Saturdays, people visit the Achimota Mall more than they visit the one closer to Neoplan. So if I am the manager, then on that day, I'm going to, if I have, let's say 10 sales representatives each in all these shops. Since on Saturdays, people visit the Achimota branch more, then I may ask maybe three sales reps from the Neoplan branch to join those at the Achimota branch, so that customers don't wait too long in a queue, because there are other shops around like ShopRite, right? So if you keep the customers longer in a queue, someone will come and will see how long the queue is, and they may just decide to go to ShopRite to go and buy, right? That means you're losing money. So if you have this intelligence, you are able to make provisions for all your operational workflows. And for the, let's say the cleaner, right? What does that mean? What does that mean for that person? The cleaner may also observe that on Saturdays, their place is busy, right? And then maybe people use the washroom a lot. So that means you, the cleaner, you should visit the washroom often, maybe after every 30 minutes or 1 hour, to clean the place, so that when customers visit the shop and they have to use the washroom, the place is clean, so that you don't have any unpleasant experience. These are ways that you improve the customer's experience, and then you maintain your customers, because getting them is the hardest, right? It's hard, but maintaining them too is also hard. You don't want to get your customers, and because they have unpleasant experiences when they visit your washroom, they don't come. You don't want to lose them because of that. So when you look at it, business intelligence from the business owner down to any member of any staff member, business intelligence is important to all of them. And like he rightly said, they all require a certain amount of information to work properly, right? So the manager needs to know that which stocks sells more, so that we stock those ones. Let's say you have Colgate toothpaste, you sell Pepsodent, and then you sell Close-Up. You notice that Colgate sells more, right? With this intelligence, you, the manager, you go out there and procure more Colgate toothpaste than you will for Close-Up and Pepsodent, because they sell more, and that is how you make your money, right? So this is to say that business intelligence is important to everybody, even you as like an individual, your home. You can look at how you run your home. Observe the part. You can start documenting, right? If you ask me, I know how many days a loaf of bread will last, right? I'm living with my father. When I take a loaf of bread, so I typically buy the ones that have been sliced, right? I can't eat more than 3. My father, his maximum is 4. So when I buy the loaf, I calculate all these things, and I know how many days this one loaf of bread can carry me. I do the same thing for milk. I do everything, like anything that I use, I document them. Recently, I started documenting even like cosmetics that I use, like roll-on, like lotion, everything. So I now know that my roll-on takes about 3 months before it finishes, right? So when I go to the store, I know that if I buy one, it's going to last me 3 days. So I look at the things that I have to do, maybe my task for the next month or 2. If I think I don't have enough time, right, to come back and buy another one, I think my toothpaste lasts like a month, right? I don't have the time to visit the shop every month to go and buy. So what do I do? When I get the time, I buy like 3, 4, 5, because I know it can take me 5 months. These are simple data that I've collected by just writing the start time and end time. Okay, I've started using this toothpaste on maybe 1st March. The moment I start using it, I just use a marker to write on the box. I don't throw the box away. So I keep using it, and then when it gets finished, I record the time that it got finished. And I know the duration that this toothpaste takes. And I do that for everything, right? I live quite an active lifestyle. So even cooking, I cook in batch. Last week, I cooked like 1 olonka of palm soup. It's just my father and I. And I've sectioned them. So I know this soup is going to last me like 2 months or 1 month, because I got like 4 containers or 5 containers, right? So I've stuck it in the fridge. Well, I know how long these goods that I've stored is going to take me. right? So business, like I said, data is everywhere. They are scattered. But the moment you start to make meaning out of it, the moment you start to gather them, then you are going to see some patterns, and then it will tell you what to do, right? Now, so with that out of the way, let's look at the components of business intelligence. And if you paid attention so far from all that you said, can you identify anything that you think is very, very relevant to business intelligence? What does business intelligence thrive on? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Yes.
Yeah, madam, please, we can hear you.
Yes, I'm asking that when you look at or you pay close attention to all that you said up to this point, what do you think is that one thing that you need to get intelligence for your business operation? Hello? Yes, Komepa.
Madam, data analysis.
Right. So yes, Michael.
I would say data collection first.
Okay. We have data analysis and data collection. Any other?
Madam, data itself.
Yes, which one? Data. Okay. So yes, the key thing over here is data. You need data before you can analyze, right? When you go out there to collect, what are you collecting? You need to collect something, right? What are you going to collect to inform your decision? You are going to collect data. Definitely, you need data, right? So data is the heart and soul of business intelligence. You can't do anything without data. I couldn't have identified the number of months my roll-on takes if I didn't track that, right? So I take the start, they are started using it at this and it got finished at this. Then I now have data, right? So all the things that all the systems that I'm using to run my life right now, I'm able to do that because I collected data. So the key components of business intelligence, in fact, the heart and soul, the blood of business intelligence, the fuel that drives business intelligence is data, right? And let me ask, what is data? Yes, Richmond.
Madam, data is simply raw facts.
Absolutely. Okay, so Richmond, you are the cost rep then. Okay. All right, noted. Yes. So data is basically raw facts. Until you structure it, put it in order, you're not getting anything out of it, right? Right now we have how many members we have in a class? We have 55 members, right? That is a raw fact, right? But you realize that when we began, we were talking about, where we work. So you can now put it in order. I think we have about 3 or 4 police officers over here. So even as we are on this call, we can collect data over here and analyze it and give some intel into it, right? So data is basically raw facts. When we collect them and then we structure them, then it becomes an information, which is what? useful. So yes, the first component of business intelligence is data collection, right? You gather data from various sources, right? Let's go back to Malcolm again. Malcolm, the manager or the IT persons, right? Let's say the manager is not tech fluent, so they have the IT personnel, right? So they would collect the data because when customers buy, they key it into their system and then it is real time, right? It goes into their database and then let's say they have 100 Colgate toothpastes, right? A customer came to buy about 7 and then it reduces to 93. You know, another person came to buy and all that. So at the end of the day, the IT person will present this information to the business owner or the manager. If the IT person has some business knowledge, then they can make sense out of the data. But if they are more tech focused, right, then they can give this data that they've collected and now has turned into information. They can give it to the manager, right, who now makes meaning out of the data that has been presented to him. So that manager will see that, okay, this morning we started with 100 pieces of Colgate and by the end of the work day, they have 12 left, right? And Pepsodents, they started with 30, they have 24 left. Closer, they started with 13, they have 20 left, right? So if you are the manager, right, and you want to restock for the next day, what would you do with this information? What would you do with this information? Hi, my procurement people.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Madam, please, the question again, though.
Yeah, I'm saying that we are using the Malcolm scenario. That at the end of the work day, the IT guy sends you a report that let's use just 3 products, right? That they started the day with 100 pieces of Colgate toothpaste, and by the end of the day, they have 10 left. Then with Pepsodent, they started with 30, they have 23 left. Close Up, they started with 30 and they have 10 left. So this data that has been brought to you as the manager, what would you do with it? Yes, Emmanuel.
Thank you, madam. So this one, ironically, it is clearly telling you that you should make preparations to restock that item that has been taken out or that has been sold out, because if not, it means it's going to affect sales on the next day or on going forward.
Okay. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Yes. Kindly put your hand down so I can see the next person in line. Yes, Michael.
So the data that have been furnished with is going to inform purchasing decisions in terms of what and when do I need to bring in what. So for instance, if 30 was brought and we are left with 10, it should tell you that no, if it's 30 and it's left with 1, then I need to quickly, as soon as possible, replenish the stock. And if the one that is moving slowly, so we say inventory is evil. So you don't want to keep something there for when you know it's not going to be needed now, or it's not going to be, moved out now. So the data is going to inform me as to what to bring in at what point in time and the urgency with which I need to go about it.
All right, thank you. Yes, Stephen.
Yeah, the data that you provided, if I were the manager, I would restock Colgate more, because Colgate the data was 100, but at the end of the day, it was left to 10. And Close Up followed up being 30 and it was left with only 10. So many people prefer buying more Colgate and Close-Up compared to Pepsodent.
Okay, Steven, let's say I am the owner, I'm the business owner, right? And you are
Yeah.
the manager, right? And you are
Yeah.
coming to me for money to go and restock. And I tell you that, okay, Pepsodents and Close-Up are cheaper, right, than Colgate. So let me give you money to restock Colgates and Pepsodents Pepsodents and Close-Up rather than Colgates, right? So yes, you brought me this information and I'm the business owner and I'm telling you, Masa, Colgate in the name wedding is expensive. So let's restock, let's buy, the cheaper ones more than, the Colgate. So what will be your reaction to this?
Well, since you are the business owner, I would advise against that as a manager, that if we do that, we are going to lose customers that prefer buying more Colgate. Even though Colgate is very expensive, the profit we'll get by selling more of it is also going to be high. But if we should buy Pepsodent and Close-Up, then we are going to lose customers because people would move to the next shop that will sell Colgate. So I'd advise against that, and preferably we'll buy more Close-Up compared to the Pepsodent, because Pepsodent has the lowest amount of sales amongst all the three data that you provided.
Okay, thank you very much. So yes, that is the power of business intelligence. So with BI, you are able to make decisions that are backed by data. I am the business owner and I'm sitting somewhere telling you to go and purchase Close-Up and Pepsodent because those ones are cheap. Let's say the cost and the market price of those ones are, let's say, those ones are maybe 10 cedis each, and Colgate is like 15 cedis, right? But with the information that you now have, right, you have data that is pointing to the fact that even though Colgate is expensive, it is the one that is what's selling, right? We started with maybe 100 pieces that day and we sold 90. So why would you prefer, or why would you want to go and buy Close-Up and Pepsodent when they are not moving and add it to the old stock, right? When clearly customers prefer Colgate. And mind you, perhaps the customers are not coming there just to come and buy Colgate and go. They may buy Colgate, they may buy toothbrush, they may buy other stuff, right? So you notice sometimes you visit a store, they don't have one thing that you want, then you turn back, you go away because that is not what you want. You go to the next shop, they have what you want, and then you feel relaxed to buy other things that you want. Yes. So that is the power of business intelligence. It gives you the power to make decisions, right, that are backed by data, because you are not just guessing. You are not just telling the manager what you think. You are telling the manager what is happening in the shop based on the information that you have. So yes, it points to our previous question it answers our previous question that was asked before as who business intelligence, like who is it more important to? Right, it is important to all of them. Right, so yes, you have the first component that is to gather data and then you analyze it. Right, then come to the analysis portion. How do you analyze data? Right, you can now group the data using again these pastes, right? So you realize was this Steven who was telling us that looking at the facts that there are more of the Pepsodent and the Close-Up, we should rather stock the Colgate because we have less of it. That is data analysis, right? You analyze the data to see which one is top performing, right? And then that becomes your reporting. Okay, let me take that part again. When they present the data to you, you are able to see that you sell Colgate more than you sell the other one. So that is the analysis that you have made. Maybe you plotted it on a, use a chart to visualize this, right? Which is easily understandable, right? Then when you are telling your boss that because from the data that we have, because Colgate is selling, we should buy more, that becomes the insights you have derived from the data. So data gives you information, and then the information makes you knowledgeable, right? So you are not knowledgeable of the fact that you sell Colgate more in your store than close-up and toothpaste. Then it gives you wisdom. So you now know that I must what? Always have Colgate installed because customer prefers that. So you move from data, which gives you information, and then that information makes you knowledgeable. And then the knowledge helps you to make better decisions, which gives you what? Wisdom. All right. Then the third component is data visualization. So first, you collect the data, you analyze it, right? If you pay close attention, you realize that I have changed the quantity of the Colgates and then the what do you call it, close-up analysis. I can't even remember the quantities I gave them, right? But if it's like a picture that we saw, I am sure I would remember it because we remember visual elements, visual representations much quicker. Like we remember them vividly than text or numbers, right? So that is how data visualization comes to play, right? So you are given the data, you analyze it, and to make your communication clearer and comprehensible, right, and memorable, you use what? Data visualization. So when we say data visualization, it's just basically presenting your data in what? A visual format using charts like a bar chart, pie chart, line chart, and all these charts. And all these charts have their use cases. Okay, so if we are to plot the information that we just got from the Colgate, close-up, and whatever, you can see that let's assume you are using a bar chart, right? You can see that the Colgate will go what? Higher than the other ones. And that is what is going to stay in your mind. It's going to stick because you have seen it rather than something that you have read somewhere, right? So data visualization is basically presenting data in a visual format using charts, graphs to aid comprehension, right? So that we remember it. And we will look at this into detail, right? Then the third one is reporting. Okay, you've collected the data, you've analyzed it, and then you've now visualized it, right? So what should we do with this data, right? If you don't know what to do with the data, then I don't know, but you should have a skill of reporting data. That is to say that whatever information you have gathered, you have analyzed, and you have visualized, you should be able to interpret it. What does it mean, right? And that is what we have done right now. So Stephen has been able to tell us that because Colgate sells more, it means that is what our customers prefer, right? So we should stock those ones more. That is what our customers prefer. We are reporting on that based on the information that you derived, right? At this point, do we have any question? Do you have any questions? Yes, Stephen. Yeah.
Yes, madam. So it means what But what you've said, then it means that when we are reporting, the report should be accurate.
Yes, your report should be accurate. And we'll look at how to gain that accuracy in our next sessions. Yes, Emmanuel.
Okay, madam, thank you. For mine also deals with this component of business intelligence where you've explained. So at our level now, are we supposed to know the tools that we use in gathering data, analyzing it, visualizing it, and also reporting it as at our level now? Are we supposed to know all these tools and also practice it, or we just have to know the theoretical aspect of it and then leave it like that?
Okay, I would really love to answer your question right now, but I don't want us to drink the soup ahead of the fufu. So please kindly hold on a brief moment to get there soon, okay?
All right, madam.
Thank you. All right, so I want to touch on one thing before we move on. Right, so you can see that we have 4 components: data collection, data analysis, data visualization, and data reporting. Yes, these make up the business intelligence, but within an organization, I mean, you should have all these skills, right? You should be able to collect data, analyze it, visualize it, and report it, right? If you are working in a place like Africa, I can assure you, in Ghana, I can assure you that you'd be expected to be hands-on in all of these areas, right? Which is good. There's nothing wrong about that. But when you move to the advanced world, they like to move more strategically, right? They like to give their employees tasks based off of their strength, right? So in a well-established organization in an advanced area, they may dedicate data collection as a sub department under the, let's say, the business intelligence or data analysis department, right? So let's say we have a company, and within the company, we have departments: finance department, operations, and then the data departments, right? I mean, if you can do all these things, all of these which you showed, is fine, it's good, right? Because you not have the luxury of being in an organization where they only require you to do data collection, right? But there are some organizations that they want to be more strategic. So they dedicate data collection to someone who is skilled in that. So you focus on data collection, right? So you can think of collecting the data from all the various sources that we have. So Melbourne Riders, I'm sure they have a centralized system. You make your purchase, it passes through their system because the sales reps key in the details and then it moves into their data sources, right? But for other companies, sometimes you'll have to be manual about it, right? So yes, data, all that I'm trying to say is that all these forms part of business intelligence, and as a business or data analyst, you should have all these skills, right? But there are some people who are skilled in one area over the other. Someone can collect data, they can analyze it, and they can visualize it, but they may not be able to report it because they don't know what the data is telling them. And that is where you have a challenge. That is where you have a challenge with most data analysts. Some can analyze it perfectly, but they can't report it, right? And even when reporting, how to communicate the findings to stakeholders becomes a problem, right? So as part of all the skills you're going to gain in this course, you should also have communication skills, because you analyze the data and you don't keep the insights that you've gathered to yourself. You need to tell your stakeholders. It could be your boss, it could be your customer, right? You need to communicate it with them. And communication is also another skill that is important in business intelligence. So yes, you should know how to do all these things. I'm not saying take one and leave the other. But all I'm saying is that there are some areas that people are more skilled in than the other. But for you, I want you to have all these skills. plus communication. Then it makes you like a grounded professional. Right. So let's move on to answer. Was it Stephen who asked our questions? Yes. These are some business intelligence platforms and tools that we have. These are some, right? We have so many, plenty. And can anyone, are you familiar with any of these tools? Yes, Emmanuel.
Yes, madam.
Yeah.
With a Power BI and Excel, SQL also.
Okay, so you're familiar with Excel, SQL, and Power BI. Good. Right.
Yes.
Any other? Yes, Alfreda.
Madam, please, Excel.
Okay, what's your level of familiarity with Excel? Have you used it before?
Yes, please.
Okay, what do you use it for?
I use it in tabulating my expenditures for work.
Okay. All right, good. All right, thank you, Alfreda. Yes, who else? Emmanuel Adai, yeah.
Yeah, madam. So my too, I'm an entry level data analyst. So together with what I'm doing. So I use the
Okay.
Power BI for visualizing the data. And then the Excel mostly for, cleaning the data. And also
Okay.
the SQL as well.
All right. Okay. Thanks for sharing. So yes. So in other words, Alfreda and Emmanuel, yes. Alfreda and Emmanuel has sort of given us or told us, they've shared with us how we use these tools, right? So Alfreda says she uses to make her expenditures, right? And then Emmanuel says he used Excel to clean their data, Excel and SQL to clean their data, and then Power BI to visualize. So yes, let's take it one after the other. Excel is a spreadsheet. It's like the OG of all other platforms. Most or all platforms were built off of Excel. Like, it's a mother, let me say, it's a mother of all other applications, or most applications, right? Excel is that powerful. And when you look down here, this is Excel. When you look down here, you see something similar. This is Google Sheets. It works the same way as Excel, right? They are all spreadsheets management systems. So what we use them for, we use them to manage data, like to prepare data, to manage data. We can also clean data in Excel, anything visualize data in Excel, as well as Google Sheets. So Excel is a Microsoft product, and Google Sheets, just by its name, yes, it's a Google product. One key difference about this is that with the Google Sheets, even if you're on the free plan, like the normal Google Workspace, and you are not on the pro plan, you still have access to a lot of things that you can do. And one feature that distinguishes it from Excel is its collaborative feature. That is not to say that you can't collaborate with others on Excel, you can. But Google Sheets makes it easier to collaborate with other people within the same sheets. And if you're someone who works remotely online, then you should be familiar with how Google Sheets work, right? Before I got into remote work and online work, I was doing Excel, Word, PowerPoint. Those were the things that I was familiar with until I got into remote work, and then we saw how powerful Google products are. It works the same way as Microsoft products, but it's collaborative. I can work with you and about 50 other people on the same sheets, right? Let's say we want to collect data within our industries. I can create one Excel sheet and share it with all of you and give you the permission to edit the sheets. So let's say I and the other teacher, the other student from with a teaching background, we decide to collect student-related data. And then we dedicate another worksheet to maybe those within the security services, right? So the military and the police, they can collect data related to, what do you call it? The security services. Then we have other ones for those in finance and other things. All I'm saying is that all of us can work on the same sheets, right? At the same time. There's this doc I work with at church, right? As you progress to your master's level, probably you would meet him, I don't know. I work with him at church and we manage church data. So what we've done is that we've created an attendance tracker to manage church members, their level of engagement with the church, how often they come to church and all that. So since like there are a number of people that will come at a time, they are not using one sheet. So I share with him as he's marking those who visit his table, those who visit my table too, I'm also checking that. And at the end of the day, we have we've covered all members who are in church. We've taken them present, and we have this information that we can share with church leaders, right? With Excel, you have to go through like a bull's eye, like a bull going through the eye of a needle to have these features because of their security features. It works, but it's not as flexible as Google Sheets, right? So we can enter data in Excel and Google Sheets. We can analyze data to see, oh, let's see the top performing products, right? When we see them, we can choose to visualize it so that we see it in a visual format, right? And then we have SQL or SQL. It's a database management system, right? Most people use spreadsheets as database management system, which is not, it is not a database management system, but it works for them. In fact, not just for them, it works like for us. That is because you may find yourself in a company that's, they are just starting out. They don't have enough data. I think Excel and spreadsheets, for instance, they can take up to like 60,000, 100,000 rows of data, right? They have limitations. But when it comes to SQL, like can run in millions and it will still do it well, right? But when it gets into the hundreds of thousands and almost millions, Excel cannot handle it, right? But this SQL is a database management system. It can handle like a huge amount of data comfortably without any stress, right? So we use it to query data, to ask questions, just like you will in Excel, right? But basically, Excel is for preparing the data, and then SQL is for querying the data. But you can use, you can do the preparing and the visualization in a spreadsheets. Lots of people use it. So yeah. And then we move on to Power BI, right? Power BI is used for visualizing data, right? It's not like a text program, right? Whatever you do in Power BI, it needs data first of all to do it. So you can either import your data or enter the data manually, right? But aside that, all the information that Power BI will give you about your data, it uses visualizations, charts, like bar graphs, column charts, pie charts, line charts, and all the charts you can think of. And then there is Python. Python is like the big brother of SQL and Excel, and it has a whole lot. And Python can be used for a whole lot. you can use it to develop a website. You can use it to prepare a notebook. You can use it to prepare virtually everything. All right, Python is that huge, is that powerful, and yes, it handles huge. I said SQL handle huge amounts of data comfortably. Think of Power BI like the 2 times, 3 times, 4 times strength of SQL, right? And this works in larger organizations. Yes, you can use Power BI to query data, analyze data, and visualize data, but they all have their unique strength. So Power BI does well, so well with visualizations. Python does well with querying as well as SQL, right? And then you have the Excel for data preparation. I like to use spreadsheet for data preparation, then I move it to SQL. So by the time I get to SQL and I'm analyzing my I'm querying the data, I already have so much petty mistakes or like huge mistakes that I would experience, right? It can handle them, but because I prepared it with Excel or Google Sheets, I like to use Google Sheets a lot because of its collaborative feature and the fact that you can get advanced features for free, right? Unlike Excel, where you need to be on a paid plan to get some features, right? Then we have Snowflake. This is like a cloud-based program, right? It also does querying and all that, but more so in the cloud, right? And then we have Tableau. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before. Tableau is just like Power BI. It is used for visualization, but you see that Power BI is more popular than Tableau. That is because with the free version of Power BI, you can do a lot, right? Unlike Tableau. With Tableau, they give you like up to 30 days, 1 month of the free version. And whatever data you prepare within that month using the free version, when the free version, the trial time expires, the 1 month expires, the data is locked up there. I did a few projects in there and they are locked. I need to pay to get those data. But with Power BI, it's free and you can share your insights as well with others. Right. Do we have any questions at this point? All right. So let's move on then. So these are some of the tools that we have. In fact, there are numerous, plenty of them that we have. But for the purpose of this program, we are going to be focusing on just 2. In fact, you are even in luck. So far, we've been focusing on Power BI, just 1. But this time around, we decided to include the Excel, since it forms the foundation of data. All right. So for this program, we are going to be focusing on Excel. So what would we be doing? We'll be entering data, we'll be formatting data in Excel, and then we'll do a bit of visualization in Excel to see some of the visuals we can generate in Excel. Right. So why are we going to be using Excel? That is because we can structure our data in rows and columns, right? Like we have over here. And then it is widely used, right? So many people are using Excel. It is very, very common. And then it forms the foundation for business analysis. That is to say that you prepare your data in Excel by maybe manually entering data or loading it from a text CSV or Excel file. You load it into Excel, and then you can clean your data over there, run a few visualizations, and you're good to go. So yes, we'll be focusing on Excel, Microsoft Excel, as well as Power BI. Right. So yes, we'll be visualizing data in Power BI, and we'll look at how to manually enter data in Power BI, right? So yes, we would load our data into Power BI, then convert raw data that we bring in into insights, right? We're going to develop or design dashboards in Excel. When I say dashboard, it's a collection of charts. So let's say we have this as our dashboard, one page with all these various charts, right? Then this becomes our dashboard. So you have something like this, which has 1, 2, it has a bar chart, map visual, and then table and some KPIs. So with this, we can call it what? A dashboard, because it is a collection of visuals, collection of charts, right? But if we have all of this on one page, then yes, that is our dashboard, right? So these are just images or some visualizations that we can create. So you see that over here, you have the indicator charts and then some other charts down there. You also have a chart over here, another column charts to form, yeah. So there are so many charts that we can build in Power BI, and it's for free, right? You don't need the paid plan to do this. I mean, it becomes a problem when you want to share. If you're on the free version and you built your visuals and you want to share with other people, you cannot really do that unless probably take a screenshot and share with them. But if you want to share the real dashboard so that they can also explore the charts in the dashboard, then you'll be limited by the free plan. But for the purpose of this program, that should be fine. Okay, so let's see how we can implement Power BI in procurement and supply chain transport logistics, right? How can we implement BI in procurement and supply chain? So one, we can do that by identifying key metrics. So key metrics like maybe what's the total number of a particular good that we have in our storeroom, right? Or if we are dealing with a supplier, which of our supplier, can we rate our suppliers? Maybe you have 3 suppliers, right? Can we rate the best supplier who delivers on time and has the best price? Those are key metrics that we can identify using Power BI. And then data collection strategies, right? Like collecting data using databases or manually entering data in spreadsheet systems like Excel or Google Sheets. Then tool selection, right? So you realize that we touched on a number of tools over here. But for your company, for your business, your organization, you look at the tool that would work well for you. If you have a small company or small business, then maybe Excel should be fine for you for preparing your data, right? But if it's an advanced or a big company that runs a lot of data, then you may think of going into maybe databases like SQL. We have MySQL, we have Cassandra, all those are database systems, or even Python, right? So you should look at your business, what you want to achieve, then it informs you of the tool that you need to select, right? So probably you've selected the tool that you want. Then you should look at training and developing your workers, your staff, the stakeholders on how to use those tools, right? Because if you bring in something like Python and your staff cannot use it, then that becomes problematic, right? So you look at your organization, what works for you to select the tool. And then when you do, you train the team on that. And of course, you continuously improve, because something like Power BI, they do introduce some new features, right? Even Excel, they introduce features, new features here and there. So yes, you need to continuously improve on the tools that you use, your workflow, just so that you are making the best out of your BI tools and then its implementation process. Right. So far we have looked at understanding the fundamentals of business intelligence and its application in the kind of work that we do for future professionals, right? And for the tools that we'll be focusing on, that is Excel and Power BI, when you have skills in these two applications, they can really make you like a competitive professional, right? It gives you an advantage over others who do not have those skills, because when you are presenting your insights or sharing your thoughts, it is backed by decisions, not just something that is just running through your mind or something you feel is right? And then when you have these skills and implement it even in your own small business that you are running, or a bigger company or an organization that you are within, it helps improve your operational efficiency, right? Like I said earlier, data is everywhere. So you can look at the organization you are within and see how you can use these tools to improve on the operational efficiency that you are in, right? So that is it about it for our introduction to the BI program. I'm going to stop sharing my screen at this point, but I'll share the slides with you, right? Before I forget, let me drop it in the chats. And while I'm at it, kindly share if you have any questions or any contributions, anything you're not clear about, kindly drop it, let us know. I'm trying to find a file and share, so you can unmute and talk. If you raise your hand, I may not see it.
Hello, madam.
Hi.
Yeah, this is Emmanuel. So I want to find out that since you are talking about the tool that we are going to stick to, that is the Power BI and the Excel, are we going to be having a hands training on it, or we are just going to learn the theoretical aspect and the use of it, but not necessarily touching on these tools that you've mentioned?
We are going to get hands-on with the tools. That is why I said tools in focus. So we are not going to just learn, okay, we can use Excel to enter data. We can use Excel to visualize data and stop there. No, we would have like hands-on lab training, lab practical sessions on this. And yes, thank you so much for raising this question. If you do not have a dedicated laptop, I think it's time for you to get one. If not, probably you can join the session. Since it's a recorded session, you can join the session and then after the session, and then you find a laptop or a desktop that you can practice with. So yes, we are going to get hands-on with this program.
Okay, thank you. And also a follow-up question. So with regards to the practical that we'll be doing, that means we should have these apps or the systems installed on our machine? Or...
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. Just.
All right, sure. All right. So yes, with Excel, if you have like a Windows laptop, you should have Microsoft Excel, right? If you don't have that downloaded, I think you can make do with the web version, but that is limited. You don't have the full features of the desktop app. That is not hard to get. And then the Power BI, that one you can download it. So yes, I don't want, there are 3 versions of Power BI. We have Power BI online, the mobile version, the mobile app. Then we have the online, and then we have the desktop app. Yes, and even the desktop app, which I recommend, that is what we'll be using. There are 2 ways of getting it. Interestingly, it's from the same source, but they work slightly, very thinly, slightly different. It's very, very thin. It's not noticeable, right? So you can get it from Microsoft Store, the Microsoft Store, and then you can download it from the web, right? I recommend you download it from the web. For one funny reasons, the one we download from the web seems to work. I don't want to say in a better way, they all work, but it seems to work in a better way than the one downloaded from the store. So if you are thinking, right, if you are thinking of downloading the Power BI software ahead of time, then please use download it from the web rather than the Microsoft Store.
Okay, madam.
Yeah.
I have another follow-up question. So,
okay, please hold on. Let me just promise here. So I've dropped the slides that we used for today's program into the chat, so you can download it and then you can explore it further. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, madam. So you are going to walk us through when on the data we are going to start using, or try our hands on this one, most especially the Power BI. Are you going to walk us through on the process of setting? Because for downloading the Power BI and setting up is a bit complicated, especially to those who are new to these kind of things. It's quite challenging. It's somehow a bit complicated. So are you going to walk us through on another session, or we should just find it out by ourselves?
Okay, that is why I said if you are thinking of download, I didn't want to touch on that because I want us to do it live. Right? I want us to do it live, especially the Power BI. I want us to get the application on our machines live so that I can offer support, as in like live support. We are on the call, we are downloading. If you run into any challenge, I can support you rather than you downloading it at your own time, right? So yes, we'll be having a live session where I'll take you through the interface right from the downloading phase. We explore the interface together. Then we start getting our hands dirty, right, with using the software or the application. So yes, if you have enough patience, who is most patient in this world? Yeah, I don't know, but yes, if you are patient, and I want you to be patient enough, you can watch some tutorials on Power BI to get familiar with the platform, even Excel, right? Our next session, we are going to cover how to use Excel, how to download it, and then I'll share resources on links that you could watch, learn, what do you call it, about their platform, right? There are so many resources out there, and that is very, very useful because we may not cover everything during the course of the program, but these links will be made available to you so that you can explore and then you own your learning journey, right? At this point, when we're growing up, that is where your teacher will give you this, that. But as we grow, you tend to own your learning journey. Right now, if we have YouTube with so much information, if there's anything you want to learn about, you can type it and then it pops up. So yes, please be patient as we get to the session where we download the Power BI. That is if you are not familiar with it at all. It can be frustrating, I understand. Yeah. Any other questions? Any other question?
Hello, madam.
Hi, Stephen.
Yeah, please, I will need your contact in case we want to reach out to you. So I don't know if it's possible for us to have it.
Okay, you can get my attention quicker by sending me an email. So let me leave my email address in the chats. I'm always by my PC. So when you send me an email, you get my attention quicker. Sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time, when a call comes through and it's not a number that I recognize, I don't answer because I may be working on something, right? And then if you send me a WhatsApp message, still the same, I may be working because I'm doing lots of things. Once you're working like remotely online, you're a freelancer, you work on so many projects with so many clients. So I have very limited time with my phone, right? So for you to get my attention, send me a mail. Let me just send you my email address. Yeah. So my email address is in the chats. All right, you can send me an email. Okay. As soon as we don't have any question, do we? So if anything is unclear, just send me a mail and I'll reach out to you. I'll respond to it. Today is just an introduction to the BI system, the tools that we'll be using. But from next week, we are going to get practical. And because of my experience with past students, from next week, I will require us to turn on our cameras. Yes. Because some students that I've handled in the past, we have practical sessions that I am doing live, and I think they are also doing live. But when we get to meet face to face, it is obvious they were not following during their practical class. And that means the skills that they should have covered before or mastered before the live session, they don't have it. And it takes the class back, right? So from next week, we will be turning on our cameras. And I'll be asking questions pertaining to the practical sessions that we'll have. And if you're not working on it, you may not have the answer to it, which would be an indication that you are not following, right? So to ensure that we are all following and we are doing what we are supposed to do so that we get enough benefit or importance from this course, we get enough from this program, then we should turn on our cameras and then yeah. Do we all have access to a laptop or a desktop computer?
Madam, I don't think all of us.
Okay. All right. All right. So but please, even if you don't participate in the class, and you can dedicate like 30 minutes each day to go over the if you have access to a desktop at work, you can maybe spend like your 1 hour lunch break. You can use 30 minutes or 15 minutes. Okay, you have 45 minutes lunch break, then use 15 minutes to go over the practical sessions that would have, just so that you are not limited, you are not left behind because you don't have access to a laptop. Is that okay? Is this something we can do? Hey, someone is selling laptop. Oh. Someone said you should DM AJ Eunice.
Yes, ma, please, they should DM me.
Say one. So yes,
Yes,
those who
madam.
should DM her. I don't know if she's going to borrow you a laptop or sell it to you at a heavily discounted price. Eunice, what's your offer for us?
Heavily discounted price.
Okay, so heavily discounted price. I think you can use the code Ghana GCTU procurement class or fundamentals of business intelligence class as your discount code. Right. You the same on problem fine. All right. So yeah, that is it. But please do not let your lack of a device keep you away from getting involved in the practical sessions. Right. When I started my tech journey, I didn't have a laptop. I got the opportunity to apply for a scholarship program back then. I didn't have a laptop, and when I was applying, it was stated clearly that you should have access to a laptop, access to internet, right? It was, I mean, two of those requirements. I didn't have, but I applied anyway because I said to myself, I was and I am a teacher still. I was a teacher at a place back then where we have a computer lab. So in my mind, I'll apply, right? When I get the opportunity, I'll make use of my school's or the work's computer lab, the desktop for the computer lab to do. And that is how I started before I finally got a laptop of my own, right? So don't let that stop you. Find ways and means of, even if it's a friend's laptop that they can lend to you during this 2-hour program on Saturdays, that's fine, right? Just don't let that discourage you. And don't let it scare you that you're going to do Power BI. You've heard that it can be tricky, can be frustrating, can be blah. We are going to take it like baby steps, right? So you'll be supported along the way. All right, I think our time is spent. And if you don't have any questions whatsoever, we'll call it a day. I've shared my email address with you. If you have any concerns at all, just reach out to me, okay? Just send me. It can be like a quick WhatsApp message through my mail. I'll respond, right? As for my number, if I share it to you, it wouldn't be of any relevance because I don't attend to my phone like that. Okay, are we good?
Very well.
Yes, please.
So,
Please.
so as discussed, in fact, from next week, we'll have our cameras on, right? And if you're worried about your background, don't worry. There's a filter feature on Zoom that we can select a virtual background to blur your background so that we don't see what you don't want us to see. Okay.
Very well.
All right. Thank
Yes,
you so
madam.
much for your time. I look forward to meeting you next week. As for today, we had milk. For next week, we'll be chewing bones, small, right? All
Sure,
right.
madam.
Yes, madam.
Enjoy the rest of your
Madam.
sessions. Do you have a good evening or afternoon? Yeah, afternoon. Bye.
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 Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.